Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we have a public match on the Burnside's Bridge. You're seeing an overview of the map right now. Such a beautiful map in my opinion. Thank you to our Patreon members for the support. If you'd like to support, go to the link in the description where you can get videos before everyone else. And on top of that, you can advertise your regiment within our videos. Check out the Patreon. It's great. So, announcing with me today is Sevi.
Hello.
Would you like to introduce yourself? Who are you?
Oh, I think that those who know my name already hate me. So, but for everybody else who doesn't hate me yet, I'm Sevi, Major 69th New York Irish Brigade.
Base. So, Burnside's Bridge. So what's the strategy for the Union as the attackers on this map?
Well, I think this is one of the more interesting maps in War of Rights history because if you look back at how we used to play it, if you're thinking like 2018, 2019 events, maybe even into 2020, you would see the Union go into the stone wall to the right of the stone bridge, and then from there shooting for a while and trying to bring the enemy down a few ticket stages. And then actually, I wouldn't say it was good, but back then it would, people weren't that smart. You'd catch rebels out of line. You would catch rebels in skirmishing. Yeah. Nowadays you don't see that as often because rebels are usually smart enough to not do that. Of course, now you see rebels charging out of line over the bridge to contradict what I'm saying in real time. But a good Union strategy here would be to group up on that stone wall. Again, I'm trying to be generous here. If you shoot there a little bit, I guess it isn't the worst if you see them. Would not recommend it though. Oh, yeah, I'm watching this fight go down the bridge.
Oh, no shot against both of them. What? The kid's like, and he died.
The game kills him. Oh,
That's.
Do you hear the shit talking?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah.
Dude, the music
there you go.
too.
The first skirmish of the round ends in a Confederate.
All right, thank you all for watching. What a good fight. The game wins.
If you look real fast, I want to show you guys something.
Right.
If you look at the top, you can see battle ready. You can see the rebels are actually further down there than the Union. So you might ask, why is that? The Union just lost 2 guys and the rebels lost 1. Well, the rebels have also lost a couple of other guys, but the main factor is that the rebels have a lot less tickets on this map, and that is the Union strength. Like I was saying a minute ago, they group up on the stone wall and then they charge over. And even if they only kill 2 for every 3 that they lose, that's even. What are these Yankees doing? Seems like the detachment under John Brown's body pillow is forming up in an extremely unconventional position.
I was so confused by the name, but yeah.
I don't think I've seen this before. They volleyed and did nothing.
So, speaking of that, we got 230-man server, 3 more men on the Union. However, if we look at artillery, Confederates have 8 on artillery, Union has 17. Our officers for Union, you have John Brown's body pillow, Halo, Seenwalt, Ulysses on the battery. For CSA battery, you got Chipmunk, and then their infantry, you got Benjamin. I don't know, there's no officer there, Papa John, and my name Ryder.
I do think you see slightly more levels on the Union officer staff, but you do see that level 66. My name is Ryder. I mean, I've not heard this name before, but he might be somebody I knew under previous alias. One thing though, I know about the artillery. Everybody knows my stance on artillery, but I think it is undeniable that if you look over to them right now, a bunch of them are doing stuff right now. But if you come back to them like 10 minutes, half of them will just be standing there waiting, and already like a third of them are just standing waiting around doing nothing.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can do with artillery. Already the Confederates are about maybe a quarter of a ticket stage down just from losing skirmishing and out-of-line shots from over this river.
Dude.
Yeah.
So have you, behind the Union spawn, have you seen all these arty guns? Imagine if the Union could use that. That would be
yeah, oh great. They would have even less guys available for the charge. Dude, okay, I want you to go over to those guns and then look at the point. You wouldn't be able to hit jack shit, dude. Come on. That is so far away through like 5 different sets of trees. You could not separate Red from Yank. Their artillery already can't separate Red from Yank. There are 3 separate events in my immediate recollection where this round came down to a tie. It is neck and neck in a real event, and then our own artillery, our own Union artillery team kills us on point, killing like 10. Which was enough to turn the tide in favor of the Confederacy. That happens very often. What you see right now is a very weird thing happening, where the rebel commanders are all holding up on top, and they're trying to control their guys to stay up and not die the line. But the rebel pubbies don't give a shit. And
this is so disorganized. Like, if you just go above and just look at the flags, they're so scattered. This is atrocious.
So I was going to note that you definitely see this map being won more by the Union by a long shot, and that is due to the huge ticket imbalance. But in a public match like this, it's one of those cases where, like I was saying, if you can, you know, like all of the risk of the Union team goes away when they can just do these cool-looking volleys that keep everybody in formation. You know, I often said that winning a public match as an officer has a lot more to do with charisma than actual strategy, and that's definitely a huge part. If you're able to keep your guys from walking out of line because they're bored, that will win you rounds. We see right now more rebels crossing the bridge, more rebels walking out of line into the Yankee fire. That does not need to be happening. They're not doing anything good for the team, but they're not going to stop because, you know, their officers, they probably haven't heard a word from their officers yet.
Right.
So,
I mean,
like, I'm looking at the rebel officer now, and they're just giving fire commands to local groups, not really trying to control the giant stem of rebels leaving their lines. They're going to have lost an entire ticket stage within 10 minutes of the round starting.
And the worst part about this is these Union officers who are just sitting on their side of the river shooting across are now thinking, oh, this is a great strategy that's working effectively, when in most of the time it doesn't work. Like, this won't work in any regimental event. It shouldn't anyways.
Yeah, you see this a lot. Yeah, that is a very astute observation, I think, because, like you said, people take wrong conclusions from this kind of thing. What's happening right here is not the result of either of the commander strategies. It's just a result of the fact that the rebels are in a public match and they're defending. That's why they're losing right now. I think the Yankees are grouping up for a charge because they might as well.
Hopefully.
I can see War Master in front. It seems like War Master's what regiment is he? 2nd Maryland B might be in front with him. And then there's 7th Ohio.
Oh, I heard let's go.
Yep.
Oh, they're stuck in the fence.
He's being cockblocked. Are they
love
leaving
it.
the flags over? I really disagree with that strategy.
So when they're coming
hate the
across,
strategy.
do you like going left or right from the Union perspective?
Ooh, that's a loaded question right there. You see, both have their ups and both have their downs. If you're able to go right and quickly get to that stone wall, then you win. You can't lose from there. Well, at least you shouldn't. But it's a huge gamble. You're probably not going to make it. Going left is definitely a safer bet. Going left and then up for those rocks. But again, if the rebels have stacked bucking-ball, which it doesn't seem like they've done, but if they did, then they'd just kill you. I really hate the strategy of holding your flags back. I know everybody loves it nowadays, but I want Eagle. Do you mind like zooming out, looking at the Yankee spawn and then where the Yankees are? Essentially, what they're doing is, yeah, they're cutting off less than half of the running time, which is like why. If you have those flags front with you, you get all those more respawns. You're going to inflict more ticket loss on the enemy. You're going to have a lower chance of dying yourself. If you lose the flags. My point here is that if that group up there gets wiped, right, they shouldn't be spawning on the flags. They're going to spawn from main and go back up to the stone wall, right? Even if 10 of them spawn the flags, they're still going to have to wait for the big group coming up from main. Holding the flags back here really gives no benefit.
You haven't learned how to crank 90s across the Burnside's Bridge River here. Rest of the Union's moving across. They got a flag, though.
Yeah, good. They're actually bringing their flag. Who's in command over here?
John Brown's
body pillow? I'm impressed. He didn't give in to peer pressure and leave his flag behind like a fucking bitch. Oh, okay. Now the flags are coming across because for some ungodly reason they think it's.
How many are gonna make it?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, they have a lot.
Yeah, they have a couple guys, so they'll probably make it. I was watching a Pry House match earlier today, and the rebel flag was on one side of the road across the stone wall, and the flag flipped up over the air to the other side of the stone wall across the road.
Flag physics are the best.
I know, especially in water. And here goes the Union.
Oh, we see a big engagement.
Why are the Confederates pushing?
Body pillow is charging the Confederates, but the Confederates also tried to move up on him. Now you see a big
only a couple of them.
Here. Very spread out. Where you see the rebels advancing into skirmishing into out of line at the Yankees, and simultaneously the Yankees doing the same up to them. But naturally, as I'm sure any good Warheads person knows already, this is much better for the attacker here because they have more tickets.
I mean, they're just wiping them. This is not close.
It doesn't help at all that the rebels are coming in piecemeal. Their commanders were not keeping their men together at all. It seems here, like I was saying a minute ago, where charisma is playing a big factor here, where the Yankee commanders are doing a lot more of the loud personal stuff to keep the people in formation, while the rebels are just kind of stand by going, all right guys, aim, fire, okay, you guys get those loads, you know? It's a completely different dynamic here you see between the two teams. I just saw level 100 get stabbed to death by Mr. B squared at level 11. Level 100 be level 11.
The wait, no, never mind.
So
What?
rebels are actually charging in the rear right now for some ungodly reason. A group of 4 rebels with an officer are charging in the Yankee rear. I don't think they know what tickets are. Besides the
There's
fact
a
that
flag
Mr.
bearer
Recruit
charging
Benjamin
into.
has 20 levels. Doesn't know what's
happening. What is this match?
You would think after 20 levels you would understand the idea that charging out of line on a defending map is not the move. So what we see here right now is the Union actually holding a very typical spot. It might not seem like it, but this little rock formation is a very common grouping spot. It can be easily countered in a regimental event by getting, if you look right there to northwest, you see what you're looking at on the ridge, getting a whole unit of around 20 or so people at least. I'm saying at the very least right there. Probably more like 40 with buck and ball. Getting them on that ridge.
Oh!
Artie!
Was that team kill?
That was a giant team kill. I'm looking at the game.
What?
He got at least 20 kills or so.
Oh! I got that out of the corner of my view. Holy crap!
You see what I mean here?
Holy crap!
Burnsides is shit.
Holy crap!
Holy crap!
Sorry.
Oh yeah, I get you. I'll give you a
I'm
second.
just no. You keep going. That's absurd.
The one thing that Union Arty is very good on this map for is area denial. Basically, a good small Union battery, I wouldn't say small, a good efficient Union battery should be able to stop rebels from holding in the open over the bridge. They didn't do that at all, despite the fact that they have 17, now only 13 guys. You need to actually hit your shots to do that.
Oh, they did just hit a shot.
Yeah, exactly. And that was none other than Arthur Salim Larson himself.
So,
that was his old tag, yeah.
Confederate respawns are now starting to move in. They look a little more organized.
Dude, Yankees are shooting their own guys again.
The artillery?
They didn't get any kills that time. Yeah, the artillery just almost shot the Yankee line again.
Oh,
Missed
yeah.
by 5 yards or so.
Ah, I see the smoke. This is absurd. I wonder what the artillerymen are talking about.
Yeah. I don't hear your end. So
I've seen them before. I'm gonna bino them now.
Oh, he's gonna bio them. Okay, a lot of these
Wait, hold on. I see Confederate flag left of the bridge. Red flag.
Is that all? To 123 Yankees in this clump right here?
There's no
Again, if the rebels had buck and ball
yeah,
and they were organized, they would massacre these Yankees. I'm sure everybody watching knows that buck and ball shoots 4 projectiles, and each projectile is lethal, especially at close ranges like this. But you can see right here, a rebel group is advancing, and I doubt more than even a quarter of them have buck and ball. I'm looking at them. I see a Mississippi rifle. I see a Springfield rifle. Or no.
They killed 5 or 6. But
if they had
yay! Union artillery hit a Confederate. Oh, by the way, you didn't hear, but the Union.
Another ban.
Another ban.
Around 15 to 20 kills from the more than that actually. In my game text, it gives me the amount of bans he got. The amount of ban messages tells me how many people he killed with that. He killed at least 15 with that kill. Yippee!
Somebody help pull that other fucking.
So far, the Yankee artillery has killed around twice as many Yankees as rebels, at least. Maybe around 4 times as many.
So the officer is seeing like a lone Confederate flag up towards the bridge, but they're aiming really poorly. They're like up into the left. So they're
really good on the left side here. You see the Yankees doing something very, very good here. They're advancing near the. Okay, they're advancing a little bit too high up, but whatever. They're doing almost a military crest. Well, it's very good. It's close enough for a public match.
Yeah.
Where if you go to the rebels' perspective, then you zoom in, you can only. Okay, they're not doing it very well. So you can see their chest and up. But essentially, that's giving their legs cover. If they're doing a little bit better, that would give their chests cover too. But you know what? It's good enough because they're gonna win either way.
Yeah. I mean, there's barely any Confederates here.
Yeah, but what we do see is that the Yankees are in a big line, and the Confederates are in a shitty column, which are now charging the Yankees to their southwest.
Oh!
I don't know why they're doing this. There's so much to lose and so little to gain.
See, I kind of wonder, like, as an experiment for a video, you officer some matches and you're really timid, but you, like, are smart in your tactics, or if you're really loud and dumb with your tactics and see who follows you, like, what's the rate of people following you?
I would say in a public match, that'd be hard to measure, but it would just be if you're attacking, you win.
That's probably true.
I don't want to diminish the public experience because, you know, we've all, I'm sure people are going to be like, oh, yeah, I've won Hills counterattack like this. And yeah, I've also won Hills counterattack in pubs. I actually did a infinite overtime in pub pretty recently. And you can't achieve those amounts of organization. But when I say stuff like a broad generalization, like, oh, you know, pubs don't see organization, that's stuff like this that we're looking at right now, you know, which is the vast majority of rounds.
Zooming. Anyway, I just spilled my water bottle. Yeah.
Damn.
Looking over the whole battlefield, I mean, this sees it. You see all the Union flags clumped up and all the Confederate flags spread around. I mean, Confederates are about to hit breaking, and they should lose this game.
No. Well, you know, you see the Yankees, and again, this is another one of those differences where you can see between the best pubs and the best and the best. I don't know what I'm saying here. Like, one of the differences you see even between good pubs and regiments is that in a good pub you still won't see good line formations. People will be behind other people, and that can be exploited by the enemy because you could very easily, not necessarily collateral, but, you know, guys not missing. What you do see here is that there are all four Yankee flags are getting the guy, they're spawning, they're reproducing via mitosis over here at the Union left. While the Rebels are charging into the northeast, I don't think they see that. I don't know if there's a charge or an advance yet, it's hard to tell, but they are sprinting. Okay, never mind, they just advanced to a rock and now they're going to shoot, because that's been working so well.
I honestly don't know what group you're talking about because the Confederates are so spread out.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I'm from the Yankee flags, north.
Yeah, I assume these guys with Benjamin.
Yeah, those guys. Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Oh, they're breaking.
Yankees have pushed the Rebels to breaking. For those who don't know, that means that they can now capture the points without the Rebels getting a counterattack. So they would, if they cap now, they would win instantly. Of course, I hear some one of the guys. I think Halo just said he wants to charge. He's going up the hill, he says.
They're doing a little trolling. Yeah, they're hitting that group we were just talking about. And
this officer is really good with the pistol, but it's more so that the Rebels just did not react and started killing him.
Yep.
That's another one of the things you see in public rounds, where people, you can just charge into them and stab them all to death and they don't stop loading. It's kind of funny.
So Confederates are trying to go around, hit them from the side again that we saw them do a moment ago. That worked so very well.
It's the same guy, I think, too. But
it's not a terrible. It's not. They're just so disorganized.
They just walked away from point. The rebel commanders walked away from point. I appreciate the artillery dying on a line up point. Very in character. Now, what you do see is that the rebels are charging in from the south with those about an even force of the Yankees. The Yankees are wiping a force strike near the point. But if they get caught their pants down from behind, they might. I give them like a 10% chance of losing this melee. Oh, they're lining up.
No, they are heavily outnumbered. They're heavily outnumbered.
The second Maryland guy is having his guys line up and shoot.
Right. The point of contention doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't think he knows how breaking works.
He's saying we gotta go.
Now he's saying push.
With no shots.
Okay. If anybody wants to get good at this game, stop shooting before you charge.
Thank goodness.
Okay. You're gonna miss all your shots at 40 yards. You might as well use them at point blank.
Yeah.
Now that they're charging into a giant line of Yankees, about a quarter of whom will have shots by the time they charge. And this giant group that's to the north, probably all of their loads, they don't see them yet though.
Oh, was that Union or Confederate artillery?
Yeah, that was another Union artillery kill, yeah.
What? There's no way the Union artillery hit those guys there.
You see, and that's another reason why doing the shooting and then the charge is really bad. There's a giant amount of Confederates that aren't on point. They were still loading, and they were too late. Yeah, you know.
Your thoughts for the round?
Well, Union played that. I thought the Union commanders were definitely some better commanders that I've seen in public games because they were able to use what they had. They used the cards that they had at their disposal. When they saw the rebels were just advancing on them over the bridge, they didn't risk it all by charging, and they didn't, you know, if they did not look the gift horse in the mouth, so to say, right? They just sat there and took the gift, which was very smart. But a lot of people would get too angsty and just charge anyways. We saw with the rebels. I don't want to say that they were like uncharismatic or anything, but I definitely saw where the rebels were not, the rebel officers were not keeping their guys in line, and that's very important. And when they were moving, they were indecisive. They would shoot before charging. They would charge for no reason when they don't need to. They were not acting together, while all four Union companies were acting in unison. Not necessarily unison, but very close together, so they can fall back to friendlies. So overall, I think the Union I thought the Union played very well, and the Confederates, you know, is what it is.
Yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you in the next one.